Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Patrice, and this is my Embellish Life. Today is a good one, guys. I have an extra special and awesome project to share with you guys, and it is the Harper Cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. So, if that's something you're interested in, let's get in it. I am so happy, guys, because I have finally and successfully completed a knitted pattern. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I am so hella happy right about now. Oh, oh. Calm down, Patrice. Calm down, calm down. Get yourself together. Oh my goodness. So you guys know it's been a tumultuous journey with knitwear fabric. I even had a video with my first knitwear project where I considered it to be an absolute failure. And after that time, I was like, you know what? I am not fooling anymore with these knitwear projects. But I have knitwear in my stash because I just cannot seem to stop buying these fabric. Oh my goodness. Oh, so I said, you know what, Patrice? We are not accepting failure here. It's been your first knit project. Write it off as a loss. Take that L, and we're gonna continue, and we're gonna do until we get it right. So about a month ago, I decided to take another route in order to enter the knitwear genre. And so I knew that I had the Harper Cardigan by Sinclair Patterns, which I acquired sometime earlier this year. And I think in the last video I said I purchased it. I didn't purchase it. It's actually a free pattern on the Sinclair Pattern website. So I decided in my head that I was going to give it a try. But then on a Friday Souls group, there was a question. Jen asked a question pertaining to what our next sewing projects for the week, what our sewing plans were. And I said, I think I want to do a cardigan. And she recommended the Harper cardigan. The stars aligned. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm like, you know what? I have that pattern. I was actually planning on pulling that pattern out. And since you, Jen, said that it's a easy and simple pattern, that is what we're going to do. And that I did. And I have no regrets about it. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, I am so happy. So, as I previously mentioned, the Harper Cardigan is a free PDF pattern from Sinclair Patterns, and it comes in four lengths. You have the crop length, the regular cardigan that sits at your hips. Then there's a longer cardigan that sits um, just below the knee, and then there's the duster length, which is the longest length. So those are the four patterns, the four options that is available with this pattern. Listen, this pattern is a free pattern, but I would have easily paid for this pattern because the amount of information that is provided in this pattern, they really hold your hand and take you through the entire journey. Listen, you gotta download this pattern. I'm just saying, and I'll provide the link in the description box below. But I would have easily paid for this pattern. Anyway, so like I said, it's a PDF pattern, so we have to piece some pages together. And I think it was 44 pages that I pieced together. and I think it was a trimless pattern. So that was the only, thing for me. You guys know that already. But I got through that, and everything was just smooth sailing with this pattern. So the size range that you would select from would be determined by your height. So for the petite, it's for individuals that are 5 feet 1 inches to 5 feet 3 inches. The regular, 5 feet 4 inches to 5 feet 5 inches. No, I'm sorry, to 5 feet 6 inches. And the tall is from 5 feet 7 inches to 5 feet 9 inches. I am 5 feet 5 inches. So the size range that I would choose from is from the regular sizes. Okay. So then I had to determine what size from the regular size range that I would choose. They recommended that you take your measurements from your full bust, waist, and hips, and then you would determine your finished body measurements from those three, and they even provide you a chart in it, showing how to grade in and grade out based on your measurements. So for me, I even though I took my body measurements, I only used my full bust measurements. I didn't see the need of doing any grading in for me for a open cardigan. To me, I didn't see the use of it, but it's provided there nonetheless. Should you want to do that? Now, based on my bust measurements, the finished garment measurement suggested that I should cut a size 18. But I fell between the size ranges. And so I decided, well, I didn't want to screw it up, to be honest. Usually, in another life, if it was woven fabric, I would have taken the chance, do the size 16, do all of those measurements. But I didn't want to take the chance, so I decided to cut the 18. And I'm like, if it's a bit too large, I can take it in. Now, I don't mind oversized sweaters and cardigan. Actually, I prefer that look. The only thing that I prefer to be more fitted are my sleeves. So in my head, I'm like, well, if the sleeves are too large, I can always take them in, because I do like that fitted look in my sleeves, depending on the type of cardigan it is. So that's what I did. I cut at a size 18, and I did adjusted my oh my goodness, my seam allowance. I didn't sew at 1/4 of an inch. I actually sewed at I went up. I went at 3/8 of an inch. You know, I just had to live on the wild side for just a bit. But I mean, it came out absolutely divine. I have no regrets about it. Now, let's talk about the fabric. Now, there was some fabric recommendations provided, and I decided to stick within those fabric recommendations. Like I said, I didn't want to screw it up. So I said, you know what? Let me stick to the fabric recommendations. So they had a first choice recommendation, and they also had a second choice recommendation. So the first choice recommendation was all types of French terry and sweater knits, both loose and stable. And then the second recommendation, your second choice of fabric, it was panty, double knit and double knits, double and single brush only. So I choose to stay within those recommendations. So I said, okay, I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to stick within the fabric recommendation that they provided. And that I did. So I went into my stash because I knew that I purchased a sweater knit just recently, and you guys saw it in the my latest fabric haul that I did from Fabric Mart. This sweater knit fabric. my goodness, I absolutely love the animal print. So I went and I decided to use this sweater knit fabric. So when I purchased this fabric, there was only 2.5 yards left, and so I purchased the entire thing, and I still have a significant amount of fabric left to make another cardigan if I wish, or even a dress. And the length that I chose to make was the long cardigan. That's the size before the duster. And that's the size that I chose. I like long cardigans. I didn't want to mess with the duster yet, but I said, I can rock with the long cardigans because I absolutely love long cardigans. So that is what I did. So I got the fabric. I make sure that I watched other YouTube channels just to give me a refresher on how to deal with knitwear fabric. I mean, you guys, I really didn't want to mess this thing up. I'm just saying. And I was good to go. Now, this pattern is extremely easy. I think there were 7 pattern pieces in all. And let me just get this cardigan out for you guys to see in all of its glory. So this is the cardigan. Like I said, I did the long cardigan. These are the sleeves. And here is the back. Now, like I said, it was 7 pattern pieces. So it was the sleeves band, the front, the back, the bottom band, and also there's a front band, and lastly there were pockets. So there were 7 pattern pieces and I omitted the pockets. I know, I know. And I'm actually kicking myself now because when I tried it on, my immediate reaction was to put the hands in the pockets. But I'll be honest with you guys, I chickened out. I chickened out. I don't know. When it was time to cut the pockets, I was like, I'm not sure if I would be able to insert it properly. Now, mind you, this is the standard square pockets at the front. I'm just saying this is no new kind of pocket technique. You guys understand where I'm going with this. So I chickened out. And now I am kicking myself in the shins for it. But nonetheless, I do have plans to do this pattern again, and the pockets will be in that other cardigan. So anyway, that is what happened. I did omitted the pockets, and that was the only thing that I did, along with um, increasing the seam allowance to 3/8 of an inch. Those two were the only adjustments that I did to the sweater. No, wait, I'm lying. I'm lying. There was a third adjustment that I did. Now, I mentioned earlier that I don't like, when it comes to certain cardigans, I don't like my sleeves to be oversized. Not, yeah, my sleeves. I don't like my sleeves to be oversized at all. I prefer my fitted sleeves. If I'm wearing like a chunky cardigan, that's something totally different, and the sleeves can be oversized. But for cardigans like this, I prefer my sleeves to be fitted. So when I first tried on the cardigan after I attached the sleeves, I noticed that the sleeves were just a bit too large for my liking. So I decided to take in the sleeves. So I went in and I upped the seam allowance to a half inch seam allowance for the sleeves. It's a bit more fitted, but it's still not as fitted as I would like. So I'm going to go back in again. I think I'll go back in again and take it in just a bit more. The sleeve band included, just for me to get that fitted look that I prefer. But it's more fitted than how it was originally. So I can't complain about that. So that's it. That is the third adjustment that I did. I did take in the sleeves to make it more fitted. Now, I also must mention that there are two options for the sleeves in the pattern. So you can get a 3/4 length or you can get the long sleeve length. I choose to do the 3/4 length, which is just at the elbows. Reason being, for the most part, I do tend to scrunch up my cardigan, my sleeves anyway. This is just one of the rare occasions where it's all the way down, but I do tend to push it up a lot of the time. So I just said, you know what? To avoid all of that, let me just make it at a 3/4 length. But I think I would try the long sleeve length for the other one. I think, I'm not sure, don't quote me. But yes, so there was also a sleeve option in the um in the pattern as well. So let's talk about the fitting of this cardigan. It's an excellent fit. It is an excellent fit. I think I made the best decision of using a 3/8 of a seam allowance, and I think I did make a good call with taking in my sleeves. The fit was brilliant. Now, I did sew this cardigan up on my sewing machine and I did use the zigzag stitch. I did adjusted the length of a zigzag stitch according to the recommendations in the pattern, and it's okay. I'm still not a fan of, seeing the zigzag stitch in it. I mean, it's livable. I just didn't want to pull out the serger, guys. And as some of you are asking, what did this serger do to Patrice? It hasn't done anything at all. So, yes, I did sew this up on my sewing machine and it was easy as well. Excellent. So, for those of you who don't have a serger or like me, who don't use a serger often, it is a very good cardigan for the sewing machine. I did use my walking foot instead of the regular presser foot, and that helped tremendously with feeding the fabric through and not stretching the fabric out. So that is something that I did. I did use my walking foot instead of my regular size presser foot. So yeah, this was all done on my sewing machine. So, what are my overall thoughts about the Harper Cardigan by Sinclair Patterns? Excellent over magnificent. 5 out of 5. Oh my goodness. I love this pattern. And I am so happy that I was able to redeem myself. Ah, I finally have a knitwear project under my belt. Yes! I am so happy. I am so ecstatic. Now, I do have plans to make this pattern again, and I am thinking of using this waffle knit fabric that I purchased earlier this year from Candy Fabric. I think I'm going to use this fabric next. Oh my goodness, I am so excited and I am so pleased with the outcome of this fabric, and I can't wait to make more cardigans. I love cardigans. I wear a lot of cardigans, especially at this time of the year. So I can see myself sewing up so much more of this cardigan. Yes, so I do recommend you guys to get the pattern. Like I said, it's a free pattern. Get this pattern and sew it up if you love cardigans like me, okay? All right, lovies, that is all that I have today concerning the Harper Cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. Mwah! Excellent, excellent pattern. Get it. You won't be disappointed at all. At all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And also follow me on Instagram to keep up with my other crafting shenanigans. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Think lovely thoughts. Keep on smiling. And always remember to make beautiful and wonderful things. All right, lovies, I'm out of here. Bye.